It is another beautiful hot summer night. Expecting another big crowd here at the ballpark for the middle game of this three-game series. The Milwaukee Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies. Brewers trying to continue their winning ways against the Phillies, getting a 3-1 win last night. A game that included a two-base sacrifice fly and another home run off the bat. And now the red-hot Chris Davis. Good evening from Miller Park. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay, sitting in for Brian Anderson. BA is back for the series opener against the Marlins on Monday. Sophia Minert is our reporter. Really good pitching again last night, Rock, but Chris Davis kind of living up to that Crush Davis name that he has. He's really liking the home ballpark here, especially of late.
Yeah, the Brewers are looking for some offense. They traded away a bunch of their offense, a lot of home run hitters, but Chris Davis certainly has stepped up. He's got three home run games this year. Two of them coming last week on the last homestand against the Cardinals in San Diego, and Darnell Coles have been preaching him all season long. Opposite field and center field. You can see what he's done over the course of the last 7 home games. 365 home runs. He hit a big one in yesterday's ball game, getting the Brewers jump started against Philadelphia early on. So Chris Davis showing with everyday playing time that he should get that job out in left field in 2016.
Brewers had just 4 hits, but that was plenty. 3 runs, enough for Willie Peralta last night. Jimmy Nelson, one of the bright young stars for the Crew on the mound tonight. Could he be a top-of-the-rotation guy in the making? Craig and Augie talk about it as we get you ready tonight at Miller Park.
Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Welcome back to beautiful Miller Park on this Saturday night. Jimmy Nelson, Jerome Williams, your starters. Williams only 1-6 on the road this year. His ERA is above 7, so Start salivating, Brewer hitters, huh? We'll see what happens tonight. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Craig Kashan alongside Jerry Augustine. And Augie, you got to talk Jimmy Nelson right now. This guy, since the beginning of July, has chopped nearly a full run off of his overall ERA. The curveball's working. Everything off speed is working for him right now. Take us through his sequence on where he is in his big league career in only his second full year.
Yeah, we've talked about the fastball. He's got the 402-seam fastball. He gets a lot of ground balls. That breaking ball has been very special, especially his last 9 or 10 starts. But really, when you talk about Jimmy Nelson, it's all about the great focus he has. He's starting to get that air of confidence on the mound that when he goes out there, he knows that if he executes his game plan, he's going to be successful. All he does, he's an aggressive style pitcher. He goes up, commands the strike zone, stays ahead of hitters, and he's got great focus and confidence. It's really made a difference.
And his mentality is definitely shaping before our eyes, as well as becoming an ace in the making. We got the lineups. First pitch, Phillies, Brewers ready for game 2. Milwaukee trying to get 2 in a row here on their homestand.
Stay now. Nice, beautiful evening. You get warmed up in a hurry. 81 degrees and no threat of rain as we get you ready for game 2 of this 3-game series. Brewers 5 for 5 here so far against the Phillies, having swept them earlier this year at Pittsburgh, or at Philadelphia, I should say. A good start to the series last night. Pete Buchanan, the interim manager, replacing Ryan Sandberg, who stepped down earlier this summer. And here's a look at the Phillies batting order presented by Potawatomi. Chase Utley, he remains a Philly, had 4 hits last night, followed by Cesar Hernandez and Odubel Herrera. Ryan Howard, Jeff Francoeur, and Cody Ashe in the middle. Freddie Galvis, the shortstop. Carlos Ruiz behind the plate tonight. Jerome Williams on the mound, and Jimmy Nelson on the mound here for the Crew.
Yeah, Jimmy's been red hot. He's won 6 of his last 7 decisions, and in that stretch, he's got a 226 earned run average. He's won 3 in a row. And a no decision his last time out against the Cardinals. He was pitching real well until the 7th inning, gave up a 3-run home run. Ended up with a no decision. And let's check out the defense behind Jimmy. He's been getting a lot of ground balls lately, so infield defense very important. Elian Herrera made a start at second base last night. He moves over to third. And Scooter Gennett back in the lineup with Jerome Williams on the mound, the right-hander.
Here's a look at Elion. Brewers a 3-1 winner last night. Willie Peralta awfully good. Bullpen help from Will Smith and Francisco Rodriguez. The Crew 5 games against the Phillies and 5 wins against the Phillies as we settle in for game 2 of this series tonight. And there's a strike from Nelson, and we are underway at Miller Park. Chase Utley, the topic of all kinds of trade speculation. Where will he go, if anywhere? The Giants, Cubs, Yankees, all these teams mentioned, but he remains a Philly, and last night went 4 for 5.
Yeah, came into play with a batting average under 200. He has been, out of the game, out of lineup quite a bit with the Phillies. Injuries that have plagued him the last few years, but didn't look like a 200 hitter last night. He looked like the old Chase Utley.
And you take a look at what he's done, and that is since he has come off the disabled list with that ankle injury. Hitting .500 in this 6-game hitting streak, but Jimmy Nelson punches him out to begin the proceedings here tonight in Milwaukee.
Man, that's that big slider. We talked about Nelson and what he's been doing very well. This is a pitch that's been good for him, that back foot slider to left-handers. He's got it back, the slider. It's been the power sinker and the slider for Jimmy.
Mentioned how well he has pitched, and he pitched so well in that game last Sunday against St. Louis. You could say the one mistake got the pitch up just enough for Matt Carpenter to drive into the seats, which Matt Carpenter's been driving a few of them into the seats once again this season. But Jimmy got off the hook in that game as far as taking a losing decision, because the Brewers rallied the Chris Davis homer in the bottom of the 8th off of his former teammate Jonathan Broxton, and got the Brewers a win. Cesar Hernandez with a ground ball to Segura, quickly 2 men out.
Yeah, certainly coming into his own. I mean, he was decent, up until this hot stretch. He's 9-9 and .365 earned run average, dropping his overall ERA in a 9-game stretch about a run. That's pretty good work at this point in the season, and certainly solidifying his spot in the top of this Brewers rotation going forward.
Here's Odubel Herrera. He had a base hit last night. A .286 batting average. Getting that chance to be the regular center fielder, and he's doing a pretty good job of giving this organization a reason to keep him out there. Started his pro career as a middle infielder. Had a little problems, a little error prone, and moved to the outfield last year, and now getting his first full pro season as a center fielder. Rule 5 selection. Was originally drafted by the Rangers back in 2008.
Yeah, Phillies trying to figure out what they have going forward as well. You're not sure who the manager is going to be, whether Pete McCannon's going to return. Coaching staff, players, I guess it's a big question mark for the Phillies. An important stretch for everybody in Philadelphia and Milwaukee, the remaining 6 weeks of the season.
It's clearly that ongoing storyline for both teams, the opportunities, what you do with it. And is one of the few mainstays left in this Phillies organization. Ryan Howard, Pete McCannon, the interim manager. That's a title he has held twice previously in the big leagues. Interim manager with the Pirates and the Reds back in 05 and 07 respectively.
And since he's taken over, the Phillies are around 500, not doing a bad job. They've run a hot streak there for a while. The Brewers have figured out ways to beat Philadelphia in the 5 games so far.
That was a stretch where the Brewers were in a really nice rhythm. A road trip, including that sweep in Philadelphia. 3-1 pitch, and that is laced into left center field and beyond the outstretched glove of Chris Davis, and Herrera is on his way to second with a 2-out double.
Yeah, 23rd double of the year for Herrera. He smoked that baseball. You can see Chris Davis with the flip downs. Center field and left field are going to be an issue early on in this 6 o'clock start, but Herrera hit that one right on the nose to the opposite field. Jimmy thought he might be able to make the catch, but finds its way to the wall. That's what Chris Davis and Shane Peterson are looking at right now.
And that's a challenge, to say the least. So Chris is going to have to deal with here, at least for a little while. So a runner in scoring position, which was a tough stat for the Phillies last night. 1 for 13 in that category. Ryan Howard steps in. You see the average low, but the run production up. Took an 0 for last night. Brewers, like most, have to shift on here for Howard. The 0-1 pitch. And that could be trouble. Right center field. That's a base hit. Herrera will score, and the Phillies grab the early lead.
Yeah, breaking pitch that time for Jimmy Nelson. That's the same pitch that he struck Utley out, but he left that one up in his zone. And that's one thing you don't want to do to Ryan Howard these days. Leave a middle speed pitch in the hitting zone. He's going to get a good swing at it. He's really had a difficult time with big fastballs up in the strike zone. That's where Willie Peralta gave him problems last night.
What caused the Phillies problems last night? They cash in early, getting a hit with a runner in scoring position as Jeff Francoeur pops up. Scooter Gennett will squeeze it, and that wraps up the first inning for the Phillies. A run on 2 hits. Brewers come calling. We are underway in Milwaukee. Howard as this big crowd settling in as Craig Counsell's team trying to beat the Phillies once again after taking the opener last night here at Miller Park. Here's a look at the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi. Shane Peterson back at the top of the order, followed by Lucroy and Braun. Adam Lind hits cleanup, followed by Chris Davis and Scooter Gennett. 7, 8, 9, Gene Segura, Elian Herrera, and Jimmy Nelson against the veteran Jerome Williams.
Yeah, 7th different big league team that Jerome Williams has been with. The Brewers remember him, most recently as a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He was the Houston Astros for a while. Last 2 starts haven't been too bad for Williams. Picked up a win his last time out. 12 innings in his last 2 starts and only 2 earned runs.
Yeah, that last outing, the win in San Diego, was his first road win of the season. The overall numbers are a little tough for Williams, but especially so away from Philadelphia. 1-6 with an ERA of a bit more than 7. 2-0 pitch to Peterson. There's a bouncing ball. Chase Utley gobbles it up, and there's out number 1.
Check out the Phillies Menards defense. They rank near the bottom of the National League in team fielding percentage. Ashley Herrera and Francoeur in the outfield. You got Hernandez, Galvis, Utley, and Ryan Howard from 3rd to 1st. The same infield as last night, but Carlos Ruiz, the veteran backstop, back in the starting lineup for the Phillies. Jeff Francoeur, a Gold Glove winner with the Atlanta Braves.
There's Ruiz. behind the plate for 4 no-hitters in his career. Jonathan Lucroy steps in. Tough stretch, but again, you look at Lucroy, he's been getting some pretty good at-bats. Not a whole lot to show for it, not rewarded, hitting the ball on the button oftentimes, either right at someone, a warning track fly. As last night he had a sac fly, 2-base sac fly, and Segura was able to come around from second.
And just sometimes it's a head game when you've got the batting average in a 230, something that Lucroy is not used to. Hits the ball hard, has nothing to show for it, then you start pressing a little bit.
2-strike pitch from Williams. Figure all that goes into this game, luck factors into it, and Jonathan Lucroy has had very little of it, of good luck throughout this season, but especially in this stretch.
I guess what's the old saying? If he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. Right?
Absolutely.
Hit the ball hard a number of times in Chicago, but right at the infielders on line drives, deep fly balls tracked down. That's kind of the season he's had this year. He's hit the ball hard, but not getting the base hits.
Jerome Williams ready with a 1-2. And that is stabbed by the third baseman Hernandez, and he throws him out. And again, not a whole lot of luck.
Case in point, right? That's a great play over there by Hernandez, showing good range. He turns around and makes a good throw to Ryan Howard. And just able to reach it, he spins around and throws a strike to Howard at first base and gets Lucroy by plenty. That's a nice play. And Jerome Williams showing his third baseman. He appreciates it.
See what he's been doing is Phillies seeing newer faces in this lineup. It's the way they're going. Here's Ryan Braun, a fly ball hit into center field. Room for Herrera. And it's a 1-2-3 first inning. We are 3-1. The Phillies the early lead.
He has been playing at the top of his game here lately. His run of 25 2/3 innings without allowing an earned run, he said, was the most locked in that he's ever felt here in the big leagues. And he said he really just got to a point of the season where he's feeling comfortable with his delivery. He said he's finally able to repeat it, staying relaxed. And he said that's just allow him to focus on executing all of his pitches. And according to Craig Counsell, it's been the execution of his breaking ball that has been the biggest difference for Jimmy. Finally throwing it for strikes and also getting it for swing and miss pitches.
Yeah, that confidence really growing, Brock, and it's fun to watch. Fun to watch these young guys. I know we've talked about it a lot, but why wouldn't you? Because they're showing a lot here right now.
All those things that Sophia was talking about are a result of confidence, and what comes first, right? The success or confidence in yourself. In my mind, it's the success, and Jimmy Nelson certainly has had plenty of it in his last 9 starts actually. 6-1, a 226 earned run average, and probably threw one of his best games of the year his last time out. You take away that 3-run home run, of course you can't, but he was dealing against St. Louis.
Here's Cody Ashley with a fly ball to right field. Ryan Braun, little back pedal. Here's out number 1. You're right, though. He was terrific. The Cardinals, as Sophia mentioned, the run of innings without allowing an earned run at 25 2/3. Took a red hot Cardinals team a while to break through to tie it with a run in the 6th, and then the big shot from Carpenter in the 7th. But the good news was the Brewers rallied to win the game, and Jimmy Nelson back out there in search of win number 10. Freddie Galvis, the hitter for the Phillies. Phillies team, although it has cooled off a bit here in recent days, still 17-8 since the All-Star break. With that said, last night's Brewers victory meant that the Phillies became the first team to reach 70 losses. But under Pete Mackanin, things have stabilized here for Philadelphia as this franchise regroups. And of course, a big question among the Phillies fan base, among other fan bases, is how much longer Chase Utley will be here as Galvis gets hit by the pitch. He'll be a 1-out base runner.
And the big contracts that the Phillies are still saddled with in a rebuilding mode. You talk about Utley and Ryan Howard. It's going to be tough to unload those big contracts, and I guess Utley's going to be a part of things. I would imagine, the way his contract is, if the Phillies elected to move him, he would clear waivers. It would be a big risk for a team to pick him up or claim him with the size of his contract. And the question mark with his health. It's been an issue for him his last couple of years.
Well, the one thing, if this is a showcase these last few games since coming off the DL, he is showing well. He does have veto power as a 10-5 player. But that's a part of the game that fans enjoy, and a lot is written and said about whether the Phillies will move him. If so, where? Here's Carlos Ruiz.
There was a lot of talk at the trading deadline that Utley, if he was healthy, I guess, would have ended up perhaps in Chicago, looking for a second baseman.
The Giants, Joe Panic banged up. Of course, the Yankees, they're always looking, right? A lot of names get thrown, or a lot of teams, they get thrown out there. In the meantime, Utley, one of the really good, if not great, Phillies. Big league career, that's what he is known. And I guess as far as we're concerned here in Milwaukee, Utley remains a Philly, so that's what you deal with, at least tonight, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Ball, 2 strikes. Carlos Ruiz. Freddie Galvis, the runner at first, hit by a pitch. And the 1-2. Right back to Nelson, bobbles, but they'll still get the force at second. Missed the double play, though.
Had a double play easily. I think Scooter might have been able to get Ruiz, even though after the bobble by Jimmy Nelson. Hey, break out the grills and head to Miller Park tomorrow afternoon as the Brewers and Phillies wrap up their weekend series. All fans in attendance get a Jonathan Lucroy doubles record bobblehead courtesy of Quick Trip. Great seats are still available at brewers.com/tickets.
Tip of the cap, very appropriate Jonathan Lucroy bobble. Celebrating that terrific season he had a year ago. As the pitcher, Jerome Williams, sharply hit, but Elian Herrera is right there, and that'll do it for the Phillies in the second. We are through 1.5. Chris Davis getting ready to go to work. Brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Bottom of the second at Miller Park. Big crowd settling in. DV Dolls be playing after the game tonight. Phillies with a 1-0 lead through an inning and 1/2. Middle of the order for the Crew: Adam Lind, Chris Davis, and Scooter Gennett. Only a couple of afternoon games today, but both were notable. The Yankees beat the Blue Jays 4-1 as Toronto finally cooling off. An 11-game winning streak snapped last night. The Yankees win again today, and then you might think it's Patriots and Seahawks, but it was Red Sox and Mariners 22-10. And that was against Felix Hernandez, by the way, for the
King
for the
Felix.
Mariners.
Rough night, rough day for him.
Yeah, Hernandez 2 1/3. Felix Hernandez 2 1/3. He gave up 10 runs, 10 earned runs, 12 hits. It happens to the best of them.
Yeah, you never know.
1-1 pitch to Lind.
How many guys in that Boston lineup had 3 hits? It was a 6.
Something like that.
Something like that. Offensive barrage.
Yeah, Bogarts had 4, but yeah, you're right. Bradley 5 hits. Yeah, there was a onslaught from the Red Sox. Meanwhile, that Yankees game, Carlos Beltran had a big homer last night. Homered again today, also doubled. As that battle for the AL East continues. And here's a chance for Utley on the charge. Plenty of time, and there's out number 1. If you look at Jerome Williams, he had some interesting, couple of interesting matchups here this weekend. Young pitchers for the Brewers. There's a couple of guys who've been around the block a few times. Told you Williams' story, and Aaron Harang, tomorrow's scheduled starter. Here's Chris Davis. As Craig and Augie talked about in Brewers Live pregame, Chris living up to the Crush Davis name here, especially in the home park of late. 5 homers his last 7 times out at Miller Park.
Yeah, we mentioned on the pregame show that Davis has two homer games. Last homestand he did that. And this was against Morgan, the left-hander, last night. Getting the Brewers on the board, number 12, our Powerball home run count.
A ground ball sounded like a broken bat to short. That's Galvis, a low throw, but scooped by Howard. 2 away.
Man, you got to be patient with Jerome Williams out on the mound. He's not overpowering. Throw a cutter, a changeup. He'll come inside once in a while, but really isn't going to live out there too much. The pink glove of Jerome Williams. Is that pink or red? It's pink on my monitor.
That looks pink. It's a little different shade from the trim on the uniform there. Like the red of the Philly uniform.
Sweet.
Scooter Gennett back in the lineup tonight.
It's an exciting day for me up here in the booth. I got my HD monitor all hooked up.
That's big time.
I can see everything right now. I can see flies around the ballpark.
That's a beautiful thing, that high definition, isn't it?
Isn't it? Beautiful. God.
I heard they came out with that.
Where's this been all my life? I've got it at home, but I just got it in the booth here. Awesome.
We can see Scooter Gennett with a base hit. First hit of the night for the Crew.
I could actually see the dot on that baseball in that breaking pitch. Scooter able to wait back on that curveball that hung up in his zone and hit it hard into center field.
And Gennett, the 2-out base runner for Gene Segura. Created a little highlight last night, coming around from second on a fly ball off the bat of Jonathan Lucroy. You and BA, those are plays you don't see. To say you don't see it often is an understatement. You mentioned the World Series. Willie McGee against the Crew. Fernando Vina, the Brewers, scored from second on a sac fly back in '97. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't remember that. That was a while ago, wasn't it?
August 24th, 1997, against the Tigers.
Is that your own homework or is that in the notes?
That was in the notes. Got to tell the truth, man.
I got to start reading those.
The ball is strike to Segura. Seen a couple things this week you don't often see in baseball. Anthony Rizzo with that amazing catch at Wrigley Field, and Segura scoring from second on a sac fly. There's a ground ball to second that will end the inning, and we are 3-2 at Miller Park. Nothing. Top of the order for Philadelphia. Well, let's take a look at one of the highlights in Major League Baseball last night. Matt Kemp for the San Diego Padres hits for the cycle, and that is worth another look. Presented by Columbia St. Mary's, helping the Padres to a 9-5 win against Colorado. It's a first in the history of that franchise. Big night it was out in Colorado for the Padres. Matt Kemp.
Yeah, it was a triple. I was wondering how that was going to come about.
There's Chase Utley getting into one deep to right, and that is gone. And it got out of here right now. Chase Utley, solo homer. It's 2-0 Philadelphia.
Man, the Chase Utley of old, turning on that Jimmy Nelson pitch. He lined it out of here, right? A frozen rope out of here. Fastball outer half, and Utley turns on it, and a line drive out of here at 95 miles an hour. The pitch, and he hit it a lot harder than that.
So Utley has reached now safely in each of the 7 games that he has been off the disabled list. And you're right, that is the Chase Utley of old. Power.
Another guy stands right on top of home plate, just daring to come inside. Jimmy left one out, then he knocked it out of here.
Cesar Hernandez. Home run number 5 for Chase Utley. One pitch. Shortstop, Gene Segura. One away. Phillies with a run in the first, and then a solo homer from Utley to begin the third off of Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, one of the few times that Jimmy's thrown that two-seam fastball didn't sink. When he threw to Utley, that last was a pretty good one to get Hernandez on the ground ball. Gets on top of it. He's got that good downward action as it gets to home plate. When he gets on the side just a little bit with the fingers, it flattens out, and that's the one. Those are the ones that hitters see pretty well.
Odubel Herrera looks at a strike. Back to the fastball that evens the count, 1-1. Herrera got that first inning started for the Phillies after Utley and Cesar Hernandez were retired. 2-out double, and then Herrera scored on the single off the bat of Ryan Howard. And Nelson goes with the fastball. Looking for win number 10. 9 up and 9 down for Nelson. Last 9 starts, he has been especially effective. 6-1 in that stretch, with a .226 earned run average, and also in that stretch, opposing hitters just .206 against him.
Yeah, started this stretch, his record was 3-8. So pitching much better, and that pitch he just threw to Herrera, one of the reasons, that good slider.
Here comes a 2-2. And that's down the line, a fair ball. Herrera doubled in the first. He's going to dig for 2 here, and he will get there. Second double in as many trips tonight for Odubel Herrera.
He's got that opposite field stroke down tonight. Another breaking pitch. This time Herrera goes right with it, gets on top of it, and able to get it between Herrera and the line. They had him shaded in the hole. And Herrera with his second double, so he's swinging the bat well.
Ryan Howard drove him in the first, has another opportunity in the third. 1 out. In those 65 RBIs, he had 23 of those in July alone. He and Chase Utley, those are the longtime Phillies who remember the good old days.
And they had a lot of thump around him in the lineup. It wasn't just those two guys.
See Michael Franco in that list, still not in the lineup. Promising player for the Phillies, was hit by a pitch in the game on Tuesday. Runner goes, pitch is taken, a throw to third, not in time. You better be sure, and Herrera must have been.
Now, good throw by Lucroy right on his knees. Didn't have time to get up and make the throw. Baseball beats him, and looks like it was a good call at third base. I mean, according to my new HD monitor, he didn't tag him in time.
You got a crystal clear look at that bad boy.
Yeah, that's clear as day. Pretty close at third base, but it looked like Herrera beat it.
Jim Reynolds, the third base umpire. That is steal number 12 for Odubel Herrera. Meanwhile, the ball is struck to Howard, sharply hit but foul. Ryan Howard was Rookie of the Year 10 years ago. The NL MVP in 2006.
And one of the most feared hitters in the game up until the last couple of years. Father Time catches up to all of us.
35 years old. Ryan Howard, 1-2 pitch, got him swinging.
That's where you got to get him, up there with the hard stuff. He's had troubles with that pitch against Milwaukee all season long. And you give him something middle speed like he got his first time up with a base hit. He can hurt you, but that's a pitch that gives him problems.
2 strikeouts for Nelson. And here's Jeff Francoeur. Gold Glove winner was Francoeur back in 07. The Braves won himself a roster spot this spring. Hitting .274. And there's a soft flying drive, and Scooter Gennett takes a hit and a run away from Philadelphia. Phillies do score a run, leave one. Scooter Gennett with a nice defensive play to end the inning. Takes an RBI away from Jeff Francoeur. It's 2-0 Philadelphia here in Game 2 with a 3-game set in Milwaukee.
and I'm joined by Danielle Matula, the fiance of Corey Knebel. And Danielle, you guys started with 300 bags, which would include an autographed ball by either a player or manager, Craig Counsell. So it's been a very busy day for you guys selling.
Absolutely. It has been so busy. The balls are amazing. They're signed by all the players on the Brewers team and also by Craig Counsell and Bob Uecker. All the people have been really excited. It's fun because no one knows what they're getting, and the balls just keep on flying. So come by. We only have 40 left. Come get them before we're out.
And all of those mystery bags are going for $40. Larissa Braun joining us as well. And Larissa, you're no stranger to these events, the 6th year doing this. Why is it important to support BCF with these sales?
Well, it's really important because they will support several other organizations this year or the following year, next year, and especially Lizzie's Place, which we helped a lot this year.
All right. Well, thanks, ladies, for joining us. And again, those mystery bags going for $40 here at Miller Park just today only. And started with 300. They're still trying to sell those last few.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. Great work that they do. And appreciate spending a couple minutes with us here tonight.
Yeah, they're busy when they guys are on the road, right?
Absolutely.
Trying to help out the community here in Milwaukee.
Leon Herrera goes down swinging. There's out number 1 here in the 3rd inning for the Crew.
Hey, we have information on the pink glove from Jerome Williams.
Yeah, we do, as a matter of fact. And it's with reason, and a real good one, that he wears the pink glove. It's to honor his mother, Deborah. Died of breast cancer 14 years ago.
Man, good for him.
Yeah. Major League Baseball as a whole does a great job in raising awareness and money to fight breast cancer, and Jerome Williams doing his own part for very personal and a very good reason.
Yeah.
Jimmy Nelson at the plate. Mentioned Williams well-traveled, his 7th organization, but he was a first-round pick back in 1999. Curveball sends Nelson back to the dugout. 2 away in the 3rd.
And that brings us to tonight's Tavern of the Game winner, Chances Bar and Grill in Burnett. As they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Chances Bar and Grill.
Nice. Creative names, these taverns. It's a good touch. Top of the order, Shane Peterson, getting a little taste in the last week or so at the top of the batting order.
And why not? A .361 on base percentage and hitting around 300. It was Gene Segura last night at the top of the order with the left-hander on the mound.
Yeah, Peterson hit 7th last night.
There's been a number of different Brewers hitting that leadoff spot this year.
Yeah, 10 as a matter of fact. Peterson had his first crack at it last Sunday against the Cardinals. 1-2 pitch. A little dribbler over to Ryan Howard, and it is a 1-2-3 third here for the Crew. After 3, it's 2-0 Philadelphia. Phillies with the early 2-0 lead. Single runs in innings 1 and 3. And now for our Carsurf.com trivia question. Well, you know, this is Elvis Week, thus we recognize it. So in recognition of, who is the only player in Brewers history with a given first name as Elvis? It's Elvis Araujo right there from the Phillies. We saw him last night out of the Philadelphia bullpen. But we need the Brewer with a given first name.
Elvis. Huh. Not necessarily meaning that they called him Elvis.
Correct. Brian Michalogic once again digging deep.
Well, he had about 3 weeks to come up with that question.
A well-rested Brian Michalogic who dug deep for tonight's question. Producer Brad Weimer, director Mark Vittorio.
Great crew. Everybody that works on these broadcasts. That's what makes it so fun to be home.
It's fun for guys like me who just do the cameo stuff to come in here and just hear the banter. Always feel grossly out of shape. A lot of sharp wits, a lot of barbs being tossed.
Better have thick skin.
Oh, you better. If not, you're going home.
It's all in good fun.
Oh yeah. I think that got him. It did. Cody Ashe on an 0-2 pitch gets hit.
Well, Jimmy Nelson has really tried to establish the inside corner in this good stretch of games for him. And you know, when you're able to pitch inside, sometimes you're going to hit a batter. But you know, Jimmy not afraid to nick a batter or two. That's the 11th batter that Jimmy's hit this year. That leads the Brewers pitching staff by a wide margin.
There's the other hitter that Jimmy has hit tonight, Freddie Galvis. Nelson misses with a fastball, and that'll bring his catcher out. Jonathan Lucroy going to try to settle him here. Run scoring single in the first from Ryan Howard. Solo blast from Chase Utley to start the third inning for the Phillies. It's been the run production so far. And again, Jimmy misses upstairs. Across baseball, White Sox an early lead over the Cubs. Cubbies rolling along. They've won 8 in a row, and they lead the Giants by 4.5 games for that second wild card spot. Look at the toughness of this Central Division with the Cardinals being the Cardinals, but you got the Pirates and the Cubs right now as the wild card team. Still a month and a half to go. Rocky saw firsthand how hot that Cub team is, but it's hard to imagine the Giants not getting in. I know it's an odd numbered year and all of that, but I mean, they got a little ground to make up. But time to do it. But Cubs are hot.
Every even year, the last 5 years, they won the World Series. But yeah, I mean, the Central Division has 3 teams over 500, and the Chicago Cubs, third in the division, are 14 over. I mean, that's how good this division has been over the last few years. But you know, when the Brewers were in San Francisco, they were looking pretty good. They were swinging the bats well. Always have been able to come up with good pitching. It's going to be interesting down the stretch. I mean, September is going to be a great month if you're one of those wild card teams that even have a remote chance at this point.
Yeah, the Giants at 4.5 back. Nationals have work to do. They've lost 4 in a row. They now sit 8.5 behind. Runner goes as the pitch is hit in the air to center. Plenty of room for Shane Peterson. Now retired Freddie Galvis for out number 1.
Arizona Diamondbacks, I mean, they still feel as though they have an outside shot. They're actually 2 games under 500. And you mentioned Washington, only a game over 500. They a little bit of a spiral. Brewers are going to Washington after this homestand.
That's right. After this series, the Miami Marlins are in Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon, and then that Long stretch of not a lot of travel will change as the Brewers will be hitting the road. Carlos Ruiz at the plate for Philadelphia. Talk about the National League, a little bit of separation between the Cubs and the field in the wild card race. It was much more bunched up in the American League. You have the Blue Jays and the Angels right now. The Orioles only a game and a half out. Tampa Bay Rays 2 out. Rangers only 2.5 out. Sets up for a wild final 6 weeks here in the big leagues.
And you look at the American League, the Minnesota Twins are a game under 500, but only 3 games out of the wild card.
Yeah, it is.
So a lot of teams feel as though they're still in it. Well, Seattle at 54-62 before today's game, only 5.5 game back, 6.5 games out.
And that was despite giving up 3 touchdowns today to the Red Sox. There's a ground ball, backhand stab Herrera. The play is at first. Nice play by Elian Herrera to take care of Ruiz. 2 men out.
Had the right guy running down the line. And nice play. Was off the line a little bit, able to snare it. Thought about second base. Then he goes down to be able to get the angle on it. Thought about second, but still able to get his man at first because the Phillies catcher getting down the line gets him by a couple of steps.
Two men out with Cody Ashe the runner at second. Pitcher Jerome Williams. 2 for 27 if you're wondering. Grounded to third to end the second inning. Nelson trying to get him to end the top of the fourth. Jerome Williams, age 33. Well traveled and so far tonight been effective on the mound, at least through the first 3, giving up just 1 hit. Oh-2 pitch. And that'll do it for Williams, and that'll do it for the Phillies. Nelson hits a man, but no harm, no foul. Brewers go down 2-0. the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. No other game but baseball here to think about on a beautiful night here at Miller Park. I say that with all due respect to the PGA Championship and Whistling Straits. But this is the game you want to play right now. The big crowd here at the ballpark. Hey, it's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WisDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. But one of those nights where it won't take you long to get loose. Get yourself ready. Whether Jonathan Lucroy likes. And he will lead things off here in the fourth.
Every player likes this weather.
Oh, yeah.
Took us a while to get to it.
It's those April days when
April, May, even June was a little chilly.
Those handful of bees sometimes when you're at the plate. Pitches in on the fist. Jerome Williams, he will not wow you with velocity, but there's a little rhythm going here. He is, through the first time through the order, allowed only a single to Scooter Gennett.
Yeah, adds a little bit. He's got all 4 pitches that he likes to throw. Curveballs early in the count. He'll straighten you up off the inside corner once in a while, but he's trying to get you out of the way. Sliders, change-ups, and cut fastballs. Top batted about 92.
Play with a bouncer to third. That's Cesar Hernandez. 1 out.
He just takes a little bit off that fastball. 90 miles an hour, and had Lucroy out in front. Reminds you a lot of Bartolo Colon. You know, Livan Hernandez. You know, guys that don't throw hard, just keep you off balance. His numbers aren't very good, particularly on the road this year, but his last 2 starts have been very good.
Including a win against the Padres last Sunday. A good weekend for the Phillies out in San Diego. Here's Ryan Braun. The fly ball to center in the first. Let's take a look at that Powerball home run leaderboard. Mr. Braun with 20 to lead the way. Adam Lynn, Chris Davis in the mix. Ryan Braun 1 homer away from tying Robin Yount for the club record. Himself a good series in Chicago, went 6 for 9, including a homer off Jason Hamill. 1-1 pitch. Ryan with 18 stolen bases, so he is on the brink for what would be his 4th 2020 season of his career. At least 20 homers, 20 stolen bases. Braun hits it well, but this will carry foul and out of play. There's the group. 1 to tie, 2 to break.
Had one to hit right there, hanging slider, middle in, and that's the thing. And you know, just because he missed with his pitch, I mean, because the Brewers pretty much looking away everything from Jerome Williams, he able to get in on the hands of Braun on that pitch. That was actually a mistake.
The 2-2. Braun hitless in 3 trips in last night's game. Average now at 274. Again, the 2-2. Extends the at bat. One more time. Williams ready with the 2-2. Ryan's run it full. Lucroy led off the inning by bouncing to third. Payoff pitch to Braun. Extended at bat.
Pitch number 10 coming up. This adds a little, takes a little off, spins one up there. A couple of different breaks on his off-speed pitches. You feel like you see it pretty well, but then it kind of disappears on you.
One more time. And we'll need pitch number 11. See if we can get Williams to make another mistake here, and this time make him pay for it. Eleventh pitch of the at bat. Got him swinging. Good battle.
Change up. Got him on a change up. He threw everything he had at him. Ryan had a few pitches to hit. Finally, Williams able to get him on a change up. You can see the grip. All four fingers wrapped around the baseball. It sinks as it gets to home plate, and Ryan over the top of it at 82 miles an hour.
3 strikeouts now for Jerome Williams. Comes into tonight's game with a 4-8 record. He's had one double-digit winning season as Williams, but you have to go back 11 years ago with the Giants, a team that drafted him, went 10-7. The Giants back in 2004. Take something off, and Lynn gets a piece of it. That's it. And you see the numbers.
Yeah, Williams went from 2007 to 2010 without appearing in the big leagues.
Yeah. Big gap.
Yeah.
Lynn with a line drive to right. Francoeur at the edge of the track will make the catch, and the Brewers retired in order. We are through 4 in Milwaukee.
Outstanding. Get to see it that up close and personal. 2-0 Phillies, top of the 5th. The Brewers and Marlins square off in a 3-game series at Miller Park this coming Monday through Wednesday. And with Brewers dynamic deals, you can find great values on tickets for this series, including terrace reserve seats, starting at just $9. For details, go to brewers.com/deals.
You know, with that new HD monitor you have, though, you really get the look.
You can even see the little chips of paint coming on.
You certainly can. We have a new toy up here, so Put it to work, put it to use. Here's Chase Utley. Right off the third with his 5th home run of the year. Continues to hit and hit well. And now this the 7th game for Utley off the disabled list. It's 12 for 24 in that stretch. As you see, that has brought that season average on the north side of 200. It's 4 for 5 last night. Take a look back last night, or actually last at bat. Got out of here in a hurry.
Yeah, left that one up. He didn't get any sink on it, and Chase Utley made him pay for it. Homer number 15 allowed by Jimmy this year.
And there is yet another hit for Utley down the line and right. Ryan Braun's going to have to run it down in the corner, and Chase Utley will have himself a double. Well, the way he's hitting, if Phillies move him, somebody's going to get themselves a hot player.
Well, you saw him get a base hit with a home run on a pitch away. Nelson and Lucroy tried to punch one inside on him, and he turned the hips and knocked it down the right field corner. Not an all-star for nothing. This guy one of the best hitters in the game when he was healthy.
Yeah, 6-time all-star. 4-time Silver Slugger winner. Flashing a little bit of that form in the last week or so for the Phillies. Cesar Hernandez laying one down, pushes it to Elian Herrera. This will advance the runner. There's out number 1. Hernandez does his job. Runner at third with 1 out.
That playing for 1 run here in the 5th inning. Interesting move by Herrera, or I should say Hernandez, and I don't think that was a sign from the bench. He just did that on his own, maybe trying to bunt for a base hit. Already up 2-0.
He does run well, does Cesar Hernandez. They play a little small ball, and the Brewers bring the infield in for Odubel Herrera, who has doubled in each of his first 2 at-bats tonight. Phillies with 5 hits now off of Nelson.
Yeah, doubling a fastball away, and then they doubled down the line. It was a ground ball down the third base line on a breaking pitch.
Herrera had a hit and was walked once last night. 1 for 3 officially. 2 for 2 so far this evening. Ben Revere now Jay, he gets his opportunity. There's Herrera. Chase Utley, the runner at third with 1 out. Phillies, similar to the Brewers, making moves and getting some very good prospects in return. A lot of good minor league talent. Pete McCannon, the interim manager, replacing Ryan Sandberg. He too trying to, obviously like Craig Counsell, win every night, obviously, but also a lot of evaluating here in the meantime as well. Herrera swings and down he goes. It's a big strikeout there for Jimmy Nelson. 2 away.
Yeah, it was the same slider that he struck out Utley in the first inning. Down and in. Yeah, Herrera last time up got a pitch out over the plate up and hit it to left field. There's a good breaking pitch for Nelson. That's a big strikeout.
2 outs, so still work to do as Nelson gets ready to face Ryan Howard. Howard struck out his last trip, which is something he will do a lot, but he can also play long ball as he has done 19 times. RBI tonight gives him 65 on the year. go the other way, this will carry out a play. You can't help, at least I can't help but think when I watch Ryan Howard, of how good he has been in his career, but you just remember 4 years ago, the final out of the divisional series against the Cardinals when he ruptured his Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
It was the game-ending and series-ending at bat.
Hadn't been the same since.
He has not. Nor has his Phillies franchise. That was a team, remember, that won 102 games.
Yeah, particularly, if you rupture that Achilles, and that happened to him, 6-7 years ago, he might be able to recover. But the fact, he's getting up there in age. I mean, the healing process takes a little bit longer, and it just hasn't been the same guy since. I would imagine a lot of reasons for that, but that Achilles injury really set him back.
.234 average, and again, he cannot catch up to that high fastball. Almost always tempting, almost always hard to hit.
Yeah, it looks good up near the eyes. You see it well. It's difficult at that velocity to get a piece of.
See if he goes that way again or returns to the breaking ball. Oh, high fastball.
Yep, the curveball at 80 miles an hour for Jimmy, and fastball's been as good as at 96.
Two balls, two strikes. Utley the runner at third. And down goes Ryan Howard again. So a couple of big strikeouts for Jimmy Nelson ends the threat. Remains 2-0 Philadelphia. The inning, getting back-to-back strikeouts of Odubel Herrera and Ryan Howard. 2-0 the count. Bottom of the fifth we go. Time to revisit the CardSoup.com trivia question. In recognition of Elvis Week, who's the only player in Brewers history with his given first name as Elvis? There you go, Rock.
Yeah. He wasn't here long. 15 games in 01. The only other Elvis, there you go, Elvis Andrews. And the Phillies have one. We saw him last night.
Yeah, Elvis Araujo. Lefty reliever. And there is your Elvis knowledge for this evening. And here's Chris Davis into right, left center field. Not a fall. That's at least one and probably two, and it will be. Leadoff double for Davis here in the fifth.
Well, it didn't look like Herrera got a very good jump on that baseball. It was off the end of the bat. I think Herrera thought it was hit a little bit harder. He froze a little bit. That's what happens a lot of times when you hit one off the end of the bat. You see that big swing, just doesn't have the exit velocity that you think and falls in front of you. He'd be just better off just playing that on a hop and keeping Davis at first base. And it's a leadoff double for Chris.
Keep in mind, Herrera at the early portion of his pro career in the infield, so making that adjustment. Chris Davis is aboard at second. Herrera was a middle infielder at the beginning of his pro career, moved to the outfield really in winter ball. His real first taste of it, the big leagues now. Here's Scooter Gennett going the other way. Base hit, and it gets by Kobayashi. Davis will score easily. Gennett in the second. Brewers on the board.
Well, it might be an error on Ashe, because I don't think Davis is going to score on that if Ashe comes up with it cleanly. Yeah, we'll see how they score it. It's probably going to be a single and an error, at least allowing Gennett to get to second base. Whether they give Scooter an RBI remains to be seen. Right off the fingers of the glove, and Chris Davis scores easily, and Scooter Gennett trades places with him at second base.
He will get credit for the RBI, but it is a single and an error. The error getting Gennett to second, and here's Gene Segura. Swing and a miss. Let's get more on Gene Segura. Let's check in with Sophia.
Well, Matt, as you said earlier, that play last night, scoring on the sac fly from second, it's a play that not many big leaguers will score on. And Craig Counsell went on to praise Segura's base running this year, saying he and Ryan Braun especially have done a great job of picking their spots to run, understanding high percentage areas where they can do it, and they've been very efficient. So he said no matter where Segura is in the lineup, he can use his speed and help this team.
And there's a ground ball that has Gennett hung up on a ground ball to short.
Yeah,
ouch.
Can't do it. And never take off on a ball in front of you. That's base running 101 right there. I mean, clearly this ground ball in front of Scooter, and that's an easy out for Galvis. I mean, that's a no-brainer to go to third. A 6-5 putout getting Gennett. And a fielder's choice for Gene Segura. A bad base running move that time.
It's the first out of the inning, and here's Elian Herrera. Elian struck out in the third. Yeah, Sophia making that point, and she was talking to Craig Counsell before the game about being smart when you're stealing bases or taking the extra base. Be aggressive, but that high percentage 40 steals are fine, but not so fine if you're thrown out 15 or more times.
No, those are just base running mistakes that, that's just concentration. Maybe trying to do a little bit too much, but not a smart base running move, particularly when your team's having a difficult time manufacturing runs. You just got to stay put, rely on the guy behind you to drive in the run.
Brewers trying to, as Craig Counsell would say, move the line, string some hits, get some base runners stacked. Runners in, one out. Segura the runner at first. Milwaukee breaks through here finally in inning number 5 against Jerome Williams. Herrera in the lineup tonight, playing third. He was at second last night. So his versatility in the field continues to serve him well. Being a switch hitter, serving him well, giving him another opportunity here with the big club.
He showed some pop in his bat lately. In Chicago, and yesterday he hit one deep into center field for an out, but showing a little bit of pop in his bat.
Yeah, it was his home run last Sunday against the Cardinals that ended that scoreless streak that St. Louis pitchers had going. 38 straight frames. And it was Herrera ending it with the long ball.
Everybody figured that, right?
as everyone expected. And here's the preview of coming attractions named Chris Davis, who homered twice in that game. Five homers and 19 RBIs for the Crew. Those are the numbers for Elian Herrera. 2-2 pitch. And there's a base hit to right. Segura turns second. Here's the throw to third, and Segura's in. The ball gets by the third baseman and into the camera well, I think.
Yep.
It did, and Segura's going to come around, but he's a little shaken up.
I'm not sure what he did, but he's Ed Cedars calling the trainer out. Athletic trainer Dan Wright on his way out. That's not a good sign. Turns the bag hard, and let's check out the slide for Segura. Let's see if we can see what happens. Yeah, the helmet right on the knee of Hernandez. I'm not sure if that's it, but and watch Segura's head right into the knee. Bingo right there. It might have kind of got him dizzy a bit. Hernandez fortunate that he doesn't have a knee injury.
You can hear it. Here where his helmet meets the knee of Hernandez. So athletic trainer Dan Wright going through the protocol with Gene Segura. Boy, he has, to say the least, gone through some.
It's been hit in the head twice.
Yeah.
Yep.
To Cardinals and then at Wrigley Field. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And this is a case where helmet meets knee.
That'll be a hit for Herrera and an error to score Segura. And once Gene is deemed to be all right.
So no RBI, but more importantly, this game will be tied, and Herrera will be the runner at second. Jeff Francoeur, the right fielder, guilty of his 5th error. But of bigger concern right now is the health of Gene Segura.
Right. Yeah, they're checking, going through the concussion protocol. They're checking his neck. Yeah, he's had a rough time of it. He really has.
Fans recognizing Segura, give him a nice round of applause as he will cross the plate. He has tied the game, and now let's just hope he's okay and Segura can finish the game. We'll keep our eyes on Gene Segura to see whether he can continue.
They're going up the tunnel, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to return. But, Sophia was talking about what Craig Counsell mentioning about Segura and Braun in particular about their base running, and that's a good example of it right there. Segura taking that extra base, going in hard, and manufacturing yet another run from Milwaukee. Did the same thing yesterday with that tag up at second base.
One example, too, of what Counsell is looking for. This ball club evaluates talent knowing that a playoff berth isn't there, but a lot to play for, as cliche as that sounds. You see effort like that, what we saw last night from Segura and what we just saw a moment ago.
And that's the way it should be every day. I mean,
Absolutely.
every player. I mean, you're still getting paid twice a month.
Absolutely.
You go out there, you strap it on, and you play as hard as you can. It shouldn't matter where you are in the standings.
Without a doubt. A whole lot of people here who paid their tickets.
I never have understood that they've never given up term. Given up. What do you mean given up? Not to say that the Brewers have given up. That's not the point. But right. I'm just saying. I mean, the whole thing is, everybody should be, busting it every single day, regardless of where you're at in the standings. Whether you're 20 games up or 20 games down.
Very true.
People are in this stadium wanting to watch you play.
Nelson is strikeout victim number 4 for Jerome Williams.
But I will say this, Craig Counsell has said over and over again he's very pleased with the effort that his team has put out each and every night, whether they win or not.
Leon Herrera, the runner at second. Back to the top of the order for Shane Peterson. Brewers breaking through here in the 5th against Jerome Williams to tie the game. Peterson looking for his first hit tonight. He has shown well for Craig Counsell's team in his opportunities here with the big club. Had a double last night, one of 4 hits for Milwaukee, but 4 was plenty. They scored 3. And that was enough to get the opening game of this series. Phillies guilty of a couple of errors here in this 5th inning. Oh, 1 pitch. All started with a Chris Davis double. Cody Ashe misplaying a single off the bat of Jeanette. With Francoeur, the right fielder, guilty of an error as well. Phillies, like the Brewers, have had issues to say the least in that department, committing errors near the bottom of the league. And Milwaukee has been errorless so far tonight. 2-1 pitch to Peterson. This is Chase Utley. And the inning is over. But the Brewers get a little something going. All started with Chris Davis off the end of the bat, but it dropped in for a double. Scooter Jeanette goes the other way. He's able to score Davis on an error. And then Jeff Francoeur trying to get Segura, throws it away, and we're tied at 2.
Sixth inning in our Blaine's Farm and Fleet Down on the Farm minor league report. We check in with Josh Hader, the left-hander who was acquired in the trade from the Astros for Carlos Gomez. And Mike Fiers last night, 6 innings, 2 hits allowed, just 1 run, 7 strikeouts as well. You see the numbers for him, what he's done with Double-A Biloxi since joining the Brewers. A 1-1 record and an ERA just over 3. So off to a good start. One of the names to keep an eye on for the Brewers' future.
Yeah, that's right, Sophia. One of several acquired by this organization in those recent trades. And I know Rock is, we've talked about, and it's worth repeating. I mean, what we're seeing the Brewers do, we're seeing a lot of teams, including the Phillies, in this process of getting the young talent, guys who are going to be under team control.
Yeah.
And you can try to grow this thing together and get both of these franchises back to where they were not very long ago.
Yeah, probably won't see him in the big leagues this year. Certainly will be in spring training, I would imagine, and might have a chance to see some of these young kids next year at some point. Yeah, the position players and the pitchers doing well, and the trades that the Brewers pulled off. Davies throwing well. Phillips swinging a bat.
Brett Phillips, exciting center field prospect. Ingo Santana, well, outfielder. He's hitting, what, 375 now through the first 14 games of this organization. It's fun. It's promising. It's going to be fun to follow as Jeff Francoeur strikes out swinging. That's punch out number 6 for Jimmy Nelson.
Seems like the worms turned in this game a little bit, and Jimmy Nelson's starting to calm down a bit. Hey, there's no better place for a group outing than a Brewers game at Miller Park, and reserve a block of seats, plan a custom tailgate, or even rent out an all-inclusive area or party suite to start planning your Brewers group outing for as little as $9 per ticket. Visit brewers.com/groups.
Jimmy Nelson has struck out the last 3 Phillies he has faced. Herrera and Howard to win the 5th, and Francoeur to start the 6th. Here's Cody Ashe. It's hit by a pitch. It was an 0-2 pitch. His last at bat in the 4th. To left field. Right there is Davis. 2 outs.
Yeah, 4 of Jimmy's 6 strikeouts have come with runners in scoring position tonight, which means he's making his pitches when he's needed them, minimize the damage, only allowed 2 runs. Left on base has been an issue for the Phillies in each of the first 2 games of this series.
Yeah, 1 for 6 so far tonight, 1 for 13 last night. As you take a look at Nelson,
that's the way to get it done. First pitch strikes.
20 for 24. It's Freddie Galvis. And for the Phillies, with that runners in scoring position, mentioned the 1 for 6. The 1 came right away. The Ryan Howard run scoring single in the first after Herrera had doubled with 2 out. White Sox and Cubs tied at 1 in the 5th. Pirates lead the Mets 3-0 in the 7th. All but 2 of the games on this Saturday tonight's 2-day games. The Yankees over the Blue Jays 4-1, and the Red Sox beat the Mariners 22-10. You heard it correctly. 22-10.
Man.
26 hits for the Red Sox. That's it's a solid encore from the 15-1 win they had yesterday against Seattle. Some serious offense over the last 2 days.
Yeah, a week's worth in 2 days.
So the Red Sox had the very tough news. John Farrell will step away for the rest of this season as he undergoes treatment for lymphoma. It's a very treatable form of it. Foul pop is handled by Elian Herrera, and Jimmy Nelson makes quick work of the Phillies. Cruz battled back, tied at 2 here at Miller Park. Hey, weekdays, don't miss America's Pregame as Mike and Molly bring you live reports from around the country for the latest from NFL training camps and get you ready for a full night of MLB action. Catch America's Pregame every weekday, 4 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Now that is a sweet look. Little Buckethead Brigade flashback. I'm getting a lot. Check it out. Yes, sir.
Get it, The Rock. I like it.
That is smooth.
We had a good time out there in left field.
Old Buckethead days.
The old Buckethead Brigade. I had to give it up because Brian's head did not qualify.
Jonathan Lucroy to left center field, and he's going to have himself a double to start the 6th. As finally he hits one on the button, and he is rewarded.
Now Williams starting to get pitches up in the strike zone, and Lucroy taking advantage of that pitch. Out over the plate, was supposed to be away, ended up right down the middle, and Lucroy a leadoff double, same way the 5th inning started for Milwaukee. Chris Davis led off the 5th with a double.
Squared up and has hit a lot of baseballs hard, and it's good to see him rewarded here, a double. By the way, BA returns on Monday. Brewers open series with the Miami Marlins. So you and BA can talk again about maybe reprising the Buckethead thing.
Well, activity out in that Phillies bullpen. Lowen getting loose. A left-hander, one of 3 left-handers out there.
As they visit on the mound, as promised earlier in the game, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #WithDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Mike and the crew. Whichever one's Mike. Here's Ryan Braun. Well, not to give the home team the lead here. On is the fly ball to center and struck out in the 4th. Out in front.
Same pitch that struck him out last time. Changeup.
So 12 pitch at bat. Last trip of the 4th. Before Williams finally retired him.
Might be Williams' last hitter.
Freddie Galvis and the throw to third, and for the 2nd time the Brewers run themselves into an out at third.
Well, the rule of thumb is hit in front of you, go back. This one, you can see Lucroy just doesn't have the speed to be able to beat that throw to third base. I mean, I think Galvis was thinking about third because of the foot speed of the Brewers catcher. Had it been a faster runner, probably would have gone to first. Gets him easily at third for the 2nd time. Brewers making it out at third base.
In the 5th inning, Scooter Gennett was erased on a ground ball to short off the bat of Gene Segura. So Braun the runner at first with 1 out for Adam Lind. Bouncing ball to Ryan Howard, and he'll just apply the tag. As Braun advances, 2 away. Here comes Chris Davis. Take a look at the plate presented by Wendy's. Ground ball to Freddie Galvis in the 2nd. And a double off the end of the bat. Odubel Herrera getting a late break from his center field position. And Davis getting the 2nd. Came around to score the first run of the night for Milwaukee. Chris on a power surge at home of late. He can get into one here. 12 homers on the year for Davis. He's driven in 36. Just foul at third, 1-1.
And Williams going a lot of changeups lately. Third time through the batting order, a lot of changeups. Off speed, fewer and fewer fastballs for strikes.
It's 2-2 in his career against Milwaukee, an ERA of nearly 5.5. Sixth start against the Crew. Brewers scored twice in the fifth. Couple of errors along the way for Philadelphia. A 1-1.
That's a good take by Davis. That cut fastball right there. A tough pitch to lay off of. He'll just stay out there. If you prove to him you're not going to swing, you're going to make him throw strikes. Only throw strikes when he has to.
Does like to throw that cutter. 2-1. Big old cut from Chris Davis. Shown that ability to go back up the middle and go the other way. He certainly has the power to do just that. For base hits, period, but there's long ball power opposite field. Center field as well. Doesn't always have to go or be a pull hitter. You use the whole ballpark. 2-2 pitch.
Heck of a block right there. Carlos Ruiz, solid defensive catcher. He's having a difficult time throwing out runners this year. He's thrown in only 5 of 44, which is a surprise. One of the best throwing catchers when he's healthy over the past few years. Not so much this year.
Another one of those vets. All-star 3 years ago. He and Jason Varitek have been catchers for 4 no-hitters in their career. 3-2 pitch. Got in on him and he fouled it off. Brewers trying to grab the lead in the bottom of the 6th. Phillies put a run on the board in the first. Chase Utley homer in the 3rd. Brewers countered with 2 in the 5th and threatening here in the 6th. Ruiz hangs the sign, and now Williams ready with a 3-2. Hernandez. And that'll do it for Milwaukee in the 6th. A threat, but no more. We are through 6 at Miller Park, tied at 2. Every weeknight, don't miss MLB Whip Around on Fox Sports 1 with highlights, instant analysis, and live look-ins from around the league. MLB Whip Around is weeknights, 6 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Jimmy Nelson on for inning number 7. 2-5-2 for the Phillies, 2-5 and no errors for Milwaukee. Carlos Ruiz leading things off.
How about that hook? That was a dandy right there. First pitch to Ruiz. He drops the curveball on him.
Go back to his first start of the season against the Pirates. He was dropping a lot of those spiked curveballs, and Pittsburgh hitters had no idea. Ground ball to Herrera for out number 1.
Well, it's no surprise anymore, but when you throw it the way he does and you get that first pitch curveball over for strikes, I mean, it really puts element of doubt in that hitter's mind. And really, in this good stretch of games, he hasn't thrown that many curveballs. It's been basically sinker, slider, you know, the big fastball, the slider down and away. But he has been able to mix it in from time to time, and I think he's thrown a couple of change-ups tonight. And he got Howard on a change-up. I'm not sure. It was 91 miles an hour. Took a little bit off.
Here is Dominic Brown pinch hitting for Jerome Williams. So Williams' night will end through 6, giving up just a couple of runs. See the numbers on Brown. Big year 2 years ago. Talk about someone who had a power surge. He was an all-star, had 27 homers, 12 in the month of May. Hasn't had anything close to that kind of power since.
And because of that, he hasn't been able to find the starting lineup consistently. And it's kind of the same Chris Davis situation. I mean, you know, you're not productive, you don't play, then you don't play. You can't expect a whole lot out of him, but look what he did in 13. Most of that damage coming early in the season.
He's 0 for his last 12 coming into this ball game tonight.
Sporadic playing time, you're not going to get a whole lot out of him. You either have to make a commitment to a player like the Brewers have done with Davis the rest of the way, or, you know, move him.
Bouncing ball by the mound. Jeanette, tough play and made it look easy. Nicely done, 2 away. Play by Scooter to get the second out here in the top half of the 7th.
Hey, reminder, this coming Wednesday, August 19th, is the final Kids and Seniors Discount Day of the year. The Brewers take on the Marlins, and all kids 14 and under and seniors 16 and above save 50% on tickets. For details, visit brewers.com/fan values. School's coming pretty soon.
It is certainly coming quickly. Where does the summer go? Although this is about as nice a summer night as you can ask for now.
Yeah.
All those football camps going on, high school, college, pro. Packers already have a preseason game in. A lot going on.
Badgers start, I assume.
They have just finished up their first week. Had their first practice on Monday.
Were you there?
I was there. Trying to gather knowledge. I need all the reps I can get. So just getting my visual reps.
Yeah, you haven't been doing it that long, right?
Been a while.
How many years?
Oh boy, it's like 21, 22, something like that.
That's
been a while. Yeah, still trying to get it right.
Nice.
They keep bringing me back. Two-0 pitch to Utley. You and BA were talking about how close to the plate Utley stands, and being hit by a pitch is something that he's very much used to. Talked about it with Rizzo in the last trip to Wrigley Field. Utley gets hit with regularity. Had 3 years actually where 07, 08, 09 where he led the league in being hit by pitches. It wasn't a hit, but it's a 4-pitch walk, so a 2-out base runner for Philadelphia.
Not a bad idea just to put him on, right? You The only guy that has really given the Brewers fits in the first 2 games.
Yeah, Utley a couple of hits, a homer and a double tonight. As you take a look at the pitch count and pitch by innings.
Pretty good managing that pitch count. Really hasn't had a high pitch inning, and that's why he's able to be working here in the 7th. Still under 90 pitches, so good outing so far for Jimmy.
Very efficient. Cesar Hernandez. Good one here tonight at Miller Park. Series wraps up tomorrow afternoon, and then the Marlins come to Milwaukee to wrap up the homestand. Two strikes and nothing.
Marlins the only team the Brewers haven't seen, right?
Yeah, you're right.
They played everybody else.
Yeah, they'll make the.
Here we are in August. Haven't seen the Marlins yet.
Go down to Miami as part of a 3-city trip in early September. Had a couple of those long trips next month after a nice home-heavy month of August. It gets away from Lucroy and just enough for Utley to advance. Now a runner in scoring position again for Philadelphia. Ball, 2 strikes to Cesar Hernandez. In the dirt again. Mentioned that last outing against the Cardinals, pitched extremely well. Got one up just enough in the zone where it cost him. Trying to keep this game tied here in the 7th. Fastball just missed. Full count.
That's that fastball in. It's been a real effective pitch for him. There's a guy you want right here. You don't want to have to deal with that guy on deck. He's been a pretty good hitter tonight. Herrera.
A couple of doubles for Herrera so far. Fastball has Utley at second. The 3-2 pitch, and that just missed. And runners are at first and second. So back-to-back walks here. The first 2 of the game served up by Nelson.
That might be it for him.
Some activity in that Brewers bullpen, and Greg Counsell is going to make his move. So the Brewers trying to keep this game tied, and they'll turn to the bullpen to do it. Let's get you the game recap. Ryan Howard, run-scoring single, getting the Phillies on the board in the first. Chase Utley lines one over the wall in right. 2-0 Philadelphia, but the Brewers get a couple of runs in the fifth. The Phillies guilty of a couple of errors. Chris Davis scoring there, and then Jeff Francoeur with a wild one. Gene Segura was shaken up, but ball went into the camera well. Segura was okay. He scored, and that's where we are, 2-2 at the moment. But the Phillies have something going. Back-to-back two-out walks issued by Jimmy Nelson, and that forces Craig Counsell to go to his bullpen. And on the hill now is Will Smith.
Yeah, pitched last night against the Phillies, tossed a scoreless inning. Gave up a hit, a walk, but struck out a batter. Has been unscored upon in his last 6 appearances. Only 13 of 36 inherited runners have scored off of Will Smith this year.
With Utley at second, Cesar Hernandez at first. Here is Odubel Herrera. Breaking ball in there for strike one.
And when Will Smith was coming in, I saw Ryan Howard giving a scouting report to Herrera on what Smith features. Although Herrera's been pretty good against lefties. That's not bad, around 270.
.289 overall. And Segura slipping behind, and he cannot hang on, or he did long enough. They pick him off. How about that? Hardly thinking the ball popped out. Second base umpire fielded Colbert, the crew chief, says no. He held it long enough. You're done.
Well, he had it in his glove long enough for the out, and certainly clearly an out. But then you can see Utley kicking it out of his glove. That's a pretty good call over there by fielding Colbert. I think that's going to stand. You can clearly see after the out was made, Utley kicking the ball out of Segura's glove. You can't do it.
And they will review it. The Phillies are going to go ahead and challenge this, but
well, he was clearly out. The question is whether the replay group in New York is going to confirm the fact that the ball was held there long enough and that Chase Utley intensely tried to kick the ball out of his glove. We'll see.
So a review in progress as the Park crowd had a good look at it.
You see Utley really, is kind of kicking at the ball a couple of times before it actually falls out. He's out there now. Watch Utley. You see the way the foot goes up and down to kick it out of the glove. Actually kicked Segura's glove right off his hand. Watch this. Not once, but twice. Goes after the glove. Goes after the baseball. You can't do that.
They got caught in there. Maybe he got caught in the glove. The foot of Utley. So the Phillies are challenging.
I guess the only question might be is you take a look at that replay, and they're showing it on the scoreboard again, is when Segura made the tag, was the ball loose in his glove? Who knows? They're taking a couple of looks at it. I'm sure that a couple of things they're looking at, whether Utley kicked it out or the ball came loose when Segura made the tag. Can't imagine how they can overturn it, but we've been surprised before.
Chase Utley last night ran into an out. Base hit to right. Ryan Braun was able to throw him out as Utley tried to stretch it. In the replay, it doesn't take a professional lip reader. Utley just says stupid, stupid. Let's see if he gets caught here. And they are going to overturn it. And that's a tough one. But
well, I guess what they're saying, and we'll get confirmation on this. Maybe when Segura was making the tag, the ball came loose. We did identify that might be a possibility.
Craig Counsell coming out, and he's going to meet the field at Colbert here.
I'm not quite sure how they can overturn that. I mean, Utley clearly was trying to kick the ball out of his glove, and you can't do that.
Colbert Giving Craig a little bit of rope here. That for the record, a minute 59 seconds to review that.
And Fielding's giving a little bit of leash, but I think it's going to be shortened up here pretty quickly. Can't argue replay.
Nope.
I think Craig is on the borderline right now.
Giving him a fair amount of leash here.
Yeah, he is. I think he's giving him leash because he understands why he's arguing.
Yeah, there he goes. I'm going to sound like a homer here, so be it. I don't blame counsel here. You got to fight for your team.
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
That's a Brewer call.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you can sit there in New York, look at that, and not determine that Chase Utley kicked the ball out of his glove. I mean, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure that one out.
Now, I might add that Fielding Culbreth, to his credit, gave counsel a lot of leash there, too. So that works both ways. And, well, after all of that, the Phillies still have runners at first and second and an 0-1 count to Odubel Herrera. So let's see if Will Smith can get his club out of this after a replay reversal. Well, that's just nasty. 0-2.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me how you can overturn a call like that. I mean, if nothing else, the call stands because I like to know what the reason is.
One thing I could think of, Rock, is if you were kind of guessing aloud that maybe the ball was a little loose in the glove upon it, but it did look like Utley, if anything, had a foot caught in the glove. Took a beat or two after the tag. For the record, it goes down as an E6. That's a tough E6.
I mean, but Utley's foot went into the glove a couple of times.
Yes.
I don't think that was unintentional. Oh well.
Yeah, tough one. Let's see.
Like I said, we've been surprised before, and we'll be surprised again.
If Smith can get out of this anyway. 1-2 the count. Here it comes. Blocked by Lucroy. Inning started innocently enough. Carlos Ruiz and Dominic Brown with ground balls to third and second base respectively, and then Chase Utley walked. Cesar Hernandez walked. Enter Will Smith. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 men on here for Philadelphia. Here it comes. Bringing it, 96. Two doubles tonight for Herrera and a strikeout. Strikeout coming in the 5th inning. One of 6 strikeouts that Nelson recorded in 6 2/3 innings. Runners will be on the move. Smith ready with a 3-2. Here it comes. Breaking ball. Got it. Locked him up. So after all of that, Will Smith spins his team out of the inning. Breaking ball takes care of Odubel Herrera. And this game remains tied as we go to the bottom half of inning number 7. 2-2 the score. Will Smith striking out Odubel Herrera to get out of that jam. So to the bottom of the 7th inning we go. Justin DeFreitas now on the mound in relief for the Phillies.
You can see he struggled a bit. A .551 earned run average in 50 appearances. Now back on June 29th, he tossed a career high 2 2/3 innings. He's a guy normally that goes in for an inning, but pitched almost 3 innings in a game at Citizens Bank Park against Milwaukee.
Jeanette laying one down. Good looking bunt. Scooter's aboard. No chance for Cesar Hernandez as Jeanette lays down a textbook bunt down the third base line.
Yeah, not sure why Hernandez picked it up. I mean, his only chance was to let that try and go foul. It might not have gone foul, but there's no way that Hernandez is going to make the play on that. Looked like the ball was actually heading into the field of play and not toward the line, which is why he did pick it up. Good play by Jeanette to get the leadoff hitter aboard.
Second hit tonight for Scooter Jeanette, and hit number 6 for Milwaukee. And here comes Gene Segura. And he shortens up, and that gets in on him and gets. Oh, you got Segura, or not? It did.
Jeez.
And as he takes another one high and tight, don't know exactly where it got him, but man, he is.
It's amazing how. These pitches.
Or it did get him. Take that back. All right.
It just went off the thumb of the glove. Ruiz not able to handle it, so well, you might see Segura drop down a bunt to get Jeanette over to third base. You figure they're going to be hitting for Will Smith in the number 9 spot.
And now it's second. Opportunity here for the Crew. Back up the middle, the base hit the center. Here comes Jeanette, and Herrera's throw is cut off, and the Brewers take the lead. RBI number 34 for Gene Segura. 3-2 Milwaukee.
Right after almost getting drilled, he gets a fastball down the middle and hits it back into center field. Yeah, good job by fielding Colbert to get out of the way. And Scooter Jeanette able to score after the wild pitch gets him to second base.
Here's your Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game as the Brewers grab the lead. Still nobody out here in the 7th inning. They're trying to rough up the Freitas. Segura on the move, and he'll have second stolen easily.
Yeah, Ruiz at about 11%, which is unbelievable the way he's been able to throw the baseball in his career. Didn't have the handle on the baseball, and Segura in there with an uncontested stolen base, number 18.
Brewers looking for more here. Spotted the Phillies an early 2-0 lead, and now Herrera pops it up trying to bunt, and that is out number 1.
Good idea, just bad execution. He was trying to drag it and pull it toward him. Take it with him toward second base to get to go to third.
Pinch hitter coming up here for the Crew. Segura the runner at second, and here's Jason Rogers. Oh, it's been pretty good for him as a pinch hitter. 9 times he has delivered. Well, Williams went the first 6. The Brewers getting to Justin DeFreitas here in the 7th. See Rogers among the leaders in this area, pinch hitting. 2 of the top 4 in the ballpark tonight. Andres Blanco for the Phillies. There's a fly ball hit back in the left field. Room for Cody Ashe.
Yeah, just a little bit down on the handle. He had a good swing at it. It was a hanger. And just couldn't get the barrel on it.
2 men out. Pete McCannon, the interim manager, making his way back to the mound. Brewers will be going back to the top of the order. Bullpen activity for Philadelphia. And a break in the action here in Milwaukee with the Brewers a run across and threatening for another. Gene Segura with a run-scoring single. Phillies will be going back to their bullpen. Brewers grabbing the lead here. Remember, they got out of a jam, and it looked as though the Brewers had Chase Utley picked off at second. The original ruling was out, but the Phillies challenged it, and it was determined that Segura did not maintain possession through the tag.
I guess it has something to do with Chase Utley kicking the ball out of his glove.
Now, the good news in all of this is that it did not cost the Brewers because Will Smith was able to strike out Odubel Herrera, but it was a tough overturn, and Craig Counsell was ejected from the game coming out after the ruling.
Unless there's an angle that nobody in the world other than the umpires in New York could see, I mean, how can you determine that with the glove, you know, hiding where the ball is until Utley kicks it out of his hand? How long do you have to hold on to the baseball?
That's a tough overturn.
That was 2 seconds that whole thing took, and I don't know. All's well that ends well, though.
And it did end well. It was a strikeout from Smith, so no damage done. Elvis Araujo, by the way, on the mound again for Philadelphia. Saw him last night, seeing him again here tonight.
And apparently that was the angle that they used to make that call.
Yes.
Okay.
Araujo working to Peterson. Good cut from Shane, but fouls back.
The third Elvis that we've seen in baseball. Elvis Pena, Elvis Andrews, now Elvis Araujo we saw last night. He's thrown well against the Brewers this year. He's thrown well overall, a 3.06 earned run average.
1-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 called. So Araujo comes in out of the bullpen and takes care of Shane Peterson. But first, the Brewers take the lead. A bunt single to start the frame from Scooter Gennett. Moved to second on a wild pitch, and Gene Segura picked him up through 7, 3-2 Blue Crew. As we head to the 8th inning here in Milwaukee, let's check out what's on tap, presented by Miller Lite. Series finale, veteran against youngster again. Aaron Harang and Taylor Youngman. And Harang has really struggled here, especially of late. Taylor Youngman had his first tough outing really as a Brewer down at Wrigley Field, but so he has been just terrific overall. We'll get things started. Brewers Live tomorrow at 12:30 right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Jeremy Jeffress now on the mound for the Crew. Last pitched on Wednesday down at Wrigley Field. And now, after Wednesday's work, we'll get right back in there for Craig Counsell and the Brewers here in the 8th.
Well, the Brewers are hoping that it's going to be Jeffress in the 8th and K-Rod in the 9th. And, you know, Jefferson gave number 52, a 3-0 record and a 322 earned run average. Will Smith, the pitcher of record at this point for Milwaukee.
K-Rod getting himself ready. As I said, Jeffress in there for Craig Counsell. In a general sense, that is true, but Craig was
Jerry Narron.
Yeah, Jerry Narron for the rest of this game as Counsell was ejected in the 7th inning. Confused on a replay overturn.
As we all were.
Ryan Howard leading off. It is 4, 5, and 6 in the Philadelphia batting order. Howard, Francoeur, and Ashe. Howard opened up the scoring. RBI single in the first. Jeffress bringing the heat.
Yeah, you would think in New York they would give Fielding Colbert the benefit of the doubt, and knowing that Segura had the ball in his glove long enough because he was standing right there to determine that the ball came loose after Utley tried to kick it out of his glove, which he did.
It's one of those things that I think if you're the Brewers, you definitely want clarification, even though they got out of the inning without giving up a run. That's a future reference. A bit of knowledge.
Well, just stand there. If you get picked off, just start kicking the guy's glove, I guess. You just keep kicking until it comes loose.
So that foot just stuck in there. Can't get it out. 1-2 pitch to Howard. Yeah, what's a ball game without getting wound up about something?
All right. You know, the only reason I saw that play so clearly, the high def,
man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Felt good about that not getting overturned as Howard drops one into left field. That's how the 8th inning begins for the Phillies. Second hit for Ryan Howard tonight.
Able to fight that one off on his hands and dumps it in front of Davis out there in left field. That was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Jeremy Jefferson. Howard just fought off out there for a base hit.
I'll bring Jeff Flancour to the plate. Looking for his first hit tonight. He's homered 10 times this season. Winning a couple of game winners last month within the span of 5 days. July 19th against the Marlins, and the 24th against the Cubs.
A little surprised they're not running for Howard here. Remember in Philadelphia, Pete Buchanan double switched him out of the game a number of times.
With Chopper Segura charging. He's out number 1.
Sometimes managers like to wait until a guy's in scoring position, but he's going to keep Ryan Howard out there. He's not running well at all these days.
Cannon has used Dominic Brown, but Phillies do have a 5-man bench. You see more and more 4-man benches, including the Brewers.
And the only guy really that has really good running speed is Blanco. He's a switch hitter on the bench. So I guess the fact they don't have a lot of speed on the bench anyway, I guess they keep him in there.
Here's Cody Ashe. They say the Phillies have a 5-man bench, but Mike Franco has been out of the lineup since being hit by a pitch Tuesday. The game against the Diamondbacks, got hit in the hand, left hand. Two balls, no strikes.
Yeah, last few times out, Jeremy's had a difficult time getting his curveball over for strikes, and that's a huge pitch for him. First 2 pitches to Ashe here, curveballs, both missing.
Ryan Howard, the runner at second. He led off this inning with a base hit to left. He hold up. He did not. 2-1. Ashe made the move from third base to the outfield for this Phillies team. Fourth-round pick back in 2011. Two-one. Rolled in the hole. Segura knocks it down, but that's all he can do. As Ashe is on, runners at first and second.
I don't think he would have had a play at first base anyway, and good base running by Howard to stay put. Had Howard taken off toward third, that would have been the only play Segura had.
Infield single that extends Cody Ashe's hitting streak to 8 games. So now the Phillies have a little something going. Freddie Galvis, the hitter. Fly to center. Popped out to third. In addition to being hit by a pitch back in the second inning. Fouled out of play. This opportunity knocked for Galvis when the Phillies in the offseason sent Jimmy Rollins to the Dodgers.
Had a pretty good year he's had. I mean, 272, doesn't walk a whole lot.
Here's the 0-1. Brewers have rallied from an early 2-0 deficit. Now trying to hang on as we start to get late. Break even pitch. This with a fastball.
And Neil Cott's getting loose as we get closer to getting back to the top of that Phillies order. Probably getting ready for Chase Utley should he come up.
Two one. He held up. Says third base umpire Jim Reynolds. Here's the 3-1. Well, he's run it full as Jeremy Jeffress against Freddie Galvis.
He's got that kind of stuff where he gets behind an account and just rears back and lets her go at 97 miles an hour. Galvis a tough guy to double up.
Jeffress ready with the payoff. Galvis, one of those guys who runs well. They love a ground ball, but they'd have to turn it quickly. Nothing like a souvenir at the ballpark. Nothing like tossing it to the young guy. Very nice. One more time, Jeremy Jeffress with the 3-2. Got him on the curve.
And finally able to get that pitch for a strike on the 3-2 count. That was a dandy that time. Taking a big risk. It was down, but Galvis fooled, and there's a big out for Jeremy Jeffress. Way out in front, over the top of it.
Two outs and two on. They were pitching, come up with some pretty big strikeouts here tonight. Jimmy Nelson in the 7th, and we got Herrera looking with runners at first and second.
6 of the 8 strikeouts have come with runners in scoring position tonight. That's what you call getting them when you need them.
That's exactly right. Phillies last night struggled mightily in that area. Both teams have scuffled in that area tonight. Carlos Ruiz was hitless in 3 trips. Phillies have stranded 7 so far tonight. 4 left on for Milwaukee. Fastball's in there to even the count. He's another one of those veterans. An all-star 3 years ago. One pitch. And just rearing back and letting it fly. 1-2.
Yep, one on the inside corner, one on the outside corner. Both of them down around the knees.
See if Jeffress stays with the heat. Maybe he goes breaking ball here. Snap off a curve. One-two. Curve swung on and missed. And Lucroy will complete the strikeout. And Jeremy Jeffress works his way out of the jam. stands 2. Brewers lead 3-2.
Brewers hang on to a 3-2 lead right now. We're getting ready for Brewers Live postgame. Not the prettiest of games. You got the feeling Milwaukee was knocking on the door. Finally, they have the lead. Now they got to hold it.
You know, there's certain games that you play, Craig, it's a battle, and this is one of those games where things aren't going right, but I'll tell you what, Nelson gives them a quality start. Scooter Gennett has 3 hits, leads off the inning with a bunt, moves on a wild pitch, Segura gets the base hit, they're able to take the lead.
Remember, Milwaukee won yesterday, just 4 hits tonight. Well, let's see if they can get another win here. Again, Brewers Live postgame on the way. We'll hear from Craig Counsell and the crew coming up in just a couple of moments.
All right, Craig, Augie, thank you very much. Brewers are grinding through this, and now they will face the 4th Phillies pitcher of the night, Luis Garcia.
Yeah, he's having a nice season. 52nd appearance, a .324 earned run average. Garcia last appeared in the game 3 days ago against the Diamondbacks. He set career highs in appearances, strikeouts, and wins this year. He's got 3 wins.
Facing Jonathan Lucroy, who doubled his last trip back in the 6th inning. A 3-2 lead for the home team. Runs have been tough to come by, but the Brewers took care of business last night and trying to do the same here this evening. Oh, 0-2 to the Brewers catcher. 1 for 3 tonight. Garcia signed a free agent deal back in March ago with the Phillies. He was out of the game 4 years ago, came back in 2012, and then made his way up through the system rather quickly in 2013. That was a hot smash, and good to see Lucroy get rewarded again. So a base hit for Jonathan, his 2nd period ball game, and a leadoff runner here for the crew.
Now, that's his game right there. I mean, in a nutshell, the approach you just saw right there for Lucroy is what he did all last year. Taking a breaking pitch away from him and waiting back and hitting it into center field. Yeah, didn't jump out at it, didn't try and pull it. And another leadoff base runner from Milwaukee. 4 consecutive innings.
The Brewers stretch starting in the 5th when they scored their first 2 runs of the game. Last inning, Jeanette had a bunt single, and he came around to score. And an RBI knock from Gene Segura. Here's Ryan Braun. 0 for 3 tonight. Still sitting on 250 career home runs.
Be a good time for one.
Break it open a little bit. Ty Robin Yount in the process. There's the 1-0. Swings through a fastball. 20 homers, 65 runs batted in for the Brewers right fielder. Chopper that'll be foul. 1-2.
Garcia staying away from both Braun and Lucroy, and that's normally Braun's strength when they pitch him away. He can handle that pitch out there even when it's off the plate.
Garcia, the fourth pitcher tonight. Jerome Williams started, went 6. 5 hits, gave up 2 runs. 1 of those runs earned. Chopper back to the mound. The play will be at first.
Yeah, they had to play at second.
Yeah, he turned it down. Just a chance to get the force, but he allows Lucroy to advance, and there's out number 1.
Let's see if the Phillies elect to walk Adam Lind intentionally and bring up Davis. Set up the double play.
Interim manager Pete McCannon is Adam Lind. He too looking for his first hit. Brewers have 8 hits tonight. 7 for Philadelphia. They're going to go ahead and walk Adam. So they will in fact try to set up the double play. They'll do so at some risk. Davis has doubled tonight. We've talked throughout the evening of his home ballpark power surge that he's had. Went back to that Padres series, and of course the big 2-homer afternoon he had against the Cardinals last Sunday. Brewers with a chance here to get a little breathing room. See the night for Davis. When he scored was the first of the night for Milwaukee. Around on a Scooter Jeanette single. Big swing and a miss.
Really hasn't thrown anything even close to the inner half of the plate. So if you're a Brewers hitter, you don't really have to worry about that inside corner. Look away, which is what Darnell Coles preaches anyway. If he throws it in there early in the count, so be it. Thinking up the middle and the right center.
The 0-1. There it is. Back up the middle. Base hit. Lucroy rounding third, but Eddie Cedar will wisely hold him up, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
Yeah, with all the base running mistakes the Brewers have made, Lucroy wanted to make sure that ball was going to find its way into the outfield. If he takes off right away, Eddie Cedar's going to send him, but if he hesitated, you can see Lucroy showing him how far over the glove it went. Had to make sure. Didn't want to get doubled off.
Yeah, twice tonight the Brewers have had runners cut down trying to go from second to third on ground balls to short. And now John McClure, the pitching coach.
So both base hits coming off Garcia, coming on that slider. Everything he's thrown has been on the outside part of the plate, outside corner. Well, let's see what he does to Scooter Gennett. Scooter likes the ball away himself.
Gennett's having himself a good night at the plate. One single in the 7th got things started, and he scored the go-ahead run. Has made this a 3-2 game. Bases full with 1 out in the 8th. Broken back, slits through, base hit, center field. Lucroy is in. Bases remain loaded. 4-2 Milwaukee.
And Suter didn't want to chance anything with Adam Lind. He's not running all that well and doesn't like to slide anyway because of the back. First pitch, infield in, and because the infield's in, Galvis not able to get there and into center field. So what a night for Scooter Gennett. 4 hits, 2 RBIs, and a run scored.
And your Mutual Insurance run of the game to give the Brewers a 4-2 lead in the first 4-hit game for Scooter Gennett. His big league career. Now Gene Segura. Blow this game open here. Opportunity is there to do that. His RBI single gave the Brewers the lead in the 7th. The Brewers have gotten to that Philadelphia bullpen tonight. And once again, high and tight on Gene Segura.
That first time Garcia's come inside. I mean, and Segura looking away, kind of leaning that way, and Galvis came up and in. I should say Garcia.
A ball, a strike to Segura. All started with a Jonathan Lucroy single to center. Brewers with 3 hits in this inning. Bases stay loaded. One across so far. The 1-2. Lind the runner at third, Davis at second, Gennett at first. Infield creeping in, 1-2. Punched straight back again. There's Elian Herrera on deck. Garcia having a tough go of it. Out of the bullpen for Philadelphia. Ready with a 1-2. Segura keeps battling.
You know, it makes your job as a hitter, a little bit easier. I mean, it's never easy, but it makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about one side of the plate. Now, hitters always tell you that you can cover high and low a lot easier than you can in and out. So, you know, with Garcia on the mound, you really don't have to worry too much about anything middle in. Everything's away. Fastballs, sliders. The only pitch he's thrown this inning that has been inside almost hit Segura. You don't figure he's going to come in there again.
1-2. You're right. He stayed away, and Segura goes down swinging. And is out number 2 here in the 8th.
Well, he's thrown a lot of sliders in this inning. This time Segura chases one out of the strike zone.
Elian Herrera. A chance to get a good read here on Luis Garcia, how he's working hitters in this 8th inning. Bases remain loaded. Fastball swung on and missed.
Yeah, it's a little different with that slider with a lefty. He's going to throw it and throw it down and in. Down and in. It's hard to throw that slider on the outside corner to a left-handed hitter. Tough angle.
There it is again. Breaking ball 0-2. Here's a push to run across here. Garcia trying to prevent further damage, a strike away from doing just that. 2-strike pitch. That is blocked by Carlos Ruiz. Bottom of the 7th. South side of Chicago with the Cubs. Rolling along, they lead the White Sox 6-2. Pirates and Mets tied at 3 in the bottom of the 10th. Cardinals have beaten the Marlins 6-2 in St. Louis. John Lackey getting his 10th win of the year. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. That will do it for the Brewers. They get a run, a little bit of insurance. They leave them loaded, but they lead 4-2. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Brewers playing some comeback baseball tonight. Spotted the Phillies an early 2-0 lead, but now the Crew leading 4-2. Defensive changes. Logan Schaefer now in at center. Shane Peterson moves from center to left field. And on the mound, trying to keep that streak intact, is Francisco Rodriguez.
Yeah, picked up number 27 in last night's ball game. Came in with a 3-0 lead, gave up a run, but able to secure the save. 47 punch outs and 41 in the third innings for K-Rod. Only 9 walks.
And Andres Blanco will pinch hit to lead off the 9th inning for the Phillies. Brewers trying to stay perfect against Philadelphia here in 2015. Brewers able to get to that Philadelphia bullpen for runs in innings 7 and 8. Missed a chance to bust it wide open, though, as they left the bases loaded, did Milwaukee.
Yeah, bases loaded, 1 out. Back-to-back strikeouts by Garcia. Got the Phillies out of it.
Big night for Scooter Gennett. 4 hits for him. Andres Blanco, utility player, 31 years old. He's in there. Struck 2 call.
Yeah, right at the bottom of the strike zone that time. Blanco making sure.
32 consecutive saves for Francisco Rodriguez. 27 of 27 here this season. Two-two pitch. Blanco, Utley, and Cesar Hernandez here in the 9th for Philadelphia. The 3-2. Change, strike 3 call.
Yeah, first change up of the at-bats. All fastballs, first 5 pitches. Then drop the old cambio on him. There it is. Yeah, right on the inner half of the plate, clearly in the strike zone, and rings it up.
Out number 1 here in the 9th. Back to the top of the order.
Oh, nice to face this guy with nobody on.
Yeah, the Brewers have had all kinds of trouble getting Chase Utley out so far in this series.
Got a hit off of K-Rod last night, driving a run.
Only run of the game for Philadelphia. It was 4 for 5 last night. Utley 2 for 3 tonight. Was intentionally walked, or was walked, I should say, not intentionally, but he was walked in the 7th. Seven games back from the disabled list, Chase Utley, and he has hit safely in each of those games. A 1-strike pitch. Sharply hit right to Adam Lind, who knocks it down. He'll feed Rodriguez, and that is out number 2. Man is in shutdown mode and looking to keep it that way tonight at Miller Park. Francisco Rodriguez. Phillies down to their last out. Cesar Hernandez. Grind it out kind of game here for Milwaukee. $39,000 plus at the ballpark tonight. The chopper is foul. Taylor Youngman tomorrow. Aaron Harang will go for Philadelphia. Coverage will start at 12:30 here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Francisco Rodriguez looking for save number 28 here in 2015. Here's the 0-1. Make it 0-2. One strike away from wrapping this one up. Close to concert time here at Miller Park. The 0-2. Swung on and missed, and that will wrap it up. Save number 28 for Francisco Rodriguez as the Brewers win it 4-2. They spot the Phillies a couple of early runs. The Brewers battle back. And another good night here for the Crew as they remain unbeaten this season against the Philadelphia Phillies. Brewers a 4-2 winner here tonight. Time now for Brewers Live postgame. Let's send it down to Craig Cashon and Jerry Augustine.
All right, 2 in a row for the Brew Crew. Liking this right now. We're going to hear from Craig Counsell. Our big money moment. I'll look at that play out at second base in the 7th inning. Lots to talk about and another Brewer victory over the Phillies.